When it comes to some of the fascinating sea creatures, a few names like octopuses, sharks, and piranhas come into our minds. But the creature I think as the most fascinating and the most dangerous one is none other than an electric eel. Exactly the same sea creature which resulted in Max Dillon becoming Electro. Spiderman fans must know what I'm talking about. But why do we believe them so dangerous that it nearly seems unrealistic? Well, in this video, we are going to tell you about some facts that might change your perceptions towards this hazardous species too. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Electrophorus electricus, also known as the electric eel, is a one-of-its-kind carnivorous aquatic species which is usually not a threat to humans. But once they decide to kill, they will kill you no matter what. Their name contains the word eel, which sometimes confuses people that they are a species of it, but in reality they are not. They look familiar to an eel for sure, but they are not included among 800 species of eels, making them a whole different species itself. Electric eels can reach huge proportions, exceeding 8 feet in length and 44 pounds or 20 kilos in weight. They have long cylindrical bodies and flattened heads and are generally dark green or grayish on top with identical yellowish coloring underneath. Mostly found in murky pools and calm stretches of the middle and lower Amazon and Orinoco River basins in South America. It was believed that they have only a single species of themselves, but the misconception lasted till 2019 only. It is believed that they were first founded in the late 17th or early 18th century, but after almost 3 centuries of its discovery, 2 more species of electric eels came to light. They were Electrophorus varii and Electrophorus volti respectively, and the biggest surprise was that they both were able to produce even more dangerous amounts of electricity than the already known Electrophorus electricus, comparing to which Electrophorus electricus were able to produce 400 to 500 volts of electricity averagely, while Electrophorus varii were able to produce 600 volts of electricity, and Electrophorus volti reached the highest level among them all, where it was able to produce a massive 860-volt electric current. All of an electric eel's vital organs are crammed into the front 20% of its body, which are basically essential for their day-to-day survival and functioning. The rest is packed with 6,000 cells that act like tiny batteries. Actually, these famous freshwater predators get their name from the enormous electrical charge they can generate to stun prey and dissuade predators. Or in other words, the electric current they possess are the only means through which they fulfill their carnivorous needs. Basically, their bodies contain electric organs with about 6,000 specialized cells called electrocytes that store power like tiny batteries. When they are threatened by someone or when engaged in attacking prey, these cells will discharge simultaneously and zap! You will receive an electrifying shock in an instant. Coming to their diet, they live in the murky streams and ponds of the Amazon and Orinoco basins of South America, feeding mainly on fish but also amphibians and even birds and small mammals when they come nearby. As air breathers, they must come to the surface frequently in order to inhale. They also have poor eyesight, which sometimes acts as a disadvantage for them, but yet they can emit a low-level charge, less than 10 volts, which they use like radar to navigate and locate prey. A kind of natural electric version of sonar in simple terms. From a small fish to a giant amphibian like an alligator, they can kill anybody with their destructive shock of 800 plus volts. Many such videos can be seen on the internet where the most badass animals are victimized and killed by eels in such a manner that they don't even look like a renowned predator. For example, look at this video, where you can see that an electric eel looked for the right time and right opportunity to attack, and when it got the opportunity of an opening, the eel just used that moment and wrapped itself simultaneously around a crocodile, while giving a devastating electric shock to the crocodile at the very same moment. As expected, no one could come out of such a vulnerable position, and after struggling for a few moments, the crocodile failed to resist the hundreds of volts of shock and finally succumbed to it. But after listening about such things and witnessing a few moments like these today, a question might arise in your mind habitually whether an electric eel kills a human or not. In other words, are they a threat to us when it comes to facing them? Well, to answer that, I must say that it is all about your luck when it comes to encountering an electric eel. All 3 of their species are not so aggressive that they attack almost everyone in front of them. As per former records and some official stats, human deaths from electric eels are extremely rare, but that doesn't mean that such an incident has never happened before. However, multiple shocks can cause respiratory issues or even heart failure, and many people have also been known to drown in shallow water after a stunning jolt by them. Honestly speaking, if they decide to kill you, you will be killed if you don't have a bunch of people out there to help you. And if they decide to spare you, then they will just give you a spark if you dare to touch them, and will move on to their respective paths. There are many such other creatures in this world who possess such exceptional abilities of killing like no one else. Do you know some of them? If yes, then let me know in the comments down below.